Okay, so at the request of many, I've been asked to create a online tutorial for doing the CNC sign project. So here we go. So notice how the very first thing I'm going to do is hit save and make sure it's in the correct folder in my team drive. And I'm going to call this, I don't know, CNC sign. I'm going to call this my demo, but you might want to put it as your name or something. I would use your last name. So I'll do Geist demo. Okay, so once it's saved, I'm going to close this browser area, the team area, so I have more screen, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to start a sketch. Since this is only one component, I'm going to go ahead and build this right here as a single body, and I'm not going to worry about creating a new component. Alright, so I'm going to click on my XY plane, my front plane, and my first goal here is to create the perimeter, or the outside of the shape of this project. So since mine's going to be rectangular, I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to snap the corner of the rectangle, and I'm going to draw in the bottom quadrant down here, and start with a rectangle. Now, according to the project constraints, this should be in inches. So I'm going to come over here to my document settings and make sure that I'm in inches. And if you're not, change your active units to inches. Okay, make sure that that's correct. All right, I'm going to cancel that. Now I'm going to come to my dimension. So sketch dimension. If you don't see that button there, then click on create and go all the way down to where it says sketch dimension. Click it, and then click the horizontal line for your rectangle, or you could click on the two endpoints that define the length of the line. Either way will work, and then drag up and click, and then you're going to type in on your keyboard, whether you're activating your keyboard or if you have the handy dandy keyboard that comes with the iPad. I'm going to type in 10 inches. Now I can, even though I don't see it over here, I can still click. Since my dimension tool is still activated, I can click over here and drag this out and type in 10 and press enter. Now I'm going to click down here on the little zoom button with the little plus symbol next to it, and then I'm going to left click hold and drag away so I can see everything. This button is still selected, so I have to right click and pick OK so that I unselect that button. Alright, notice how this button is still selected, so I have to right click and cancel. And now that button is no longer selected. Alright, a lot of selecting and unselecting here. Okay, so now I've got my overall shape, so I'm going to hit finish sketch, and I'm going to extrude it. So I clicked extrude. If I want to angle it, I'm going to click on this little corner part of this view cube, the top right corner. So I look at it as an isometric, and then I'm going to drag this arrow by left click, hold, and drag in the negative direction. And my thickness is going to be negative 0.5. 0.5, not 5. 0.5. You'll see that distance right there. And then click OK. So there we go. Now we have our overall size. And if I click my little zoom in, I can make it a little closer. And then click the hand. Right. Another nice way to center this is just click the house. You see that little house? If you click the house, it'll always bring everything to a nice size in your screen and look like an isometric, and it's a quick way to zoom. Okay, so now we want to create, I'm going to round these corners. I don't like the sharp corners. I'm going to use my fillet tool, and I'm going to select that corner, and then this corner. Make sure I'm not picking that. Make sure I'm picking this edge. Okay, and then if you hover carefully, you'll notice I'm picking that edge, not this edge, but this edge right there. And then this edge. It's only the outside four corners, those. And if you make a mistake, cancel and try again. But then put in a radius. You can try different radiuses. I'm going to try 0.5 and you can see how much that is. Had I done like 1, that's what it would look like. Maybe I'll split the difference. 0.75. I feel like Bob Ross right now. If you don't know who that is, look it up. It's pretty good. Alright, so now I'm going to click on this Create Sketch because I want to hollow this out. I want to make my shell. So I'm going to click on this Create Sketch and I'm going to click the face, the front face. That's what I want to draw my sketch on. Alright, now I should center this a little better. Click the hand and move it. Right click, OK, to get out of that hand move. Now I'm going to go to Modify and click Offset. When I click Offset, now if I left click and hold and let go, so you see this little blue arrow button thing? If I click and left click, hold that and drag it in, now I'm going to create geometry that's replicated or the same but on the inside. And then I get a number. I can type in this blue area, negative 0.5. That's like a replicated geometry but on the inside. I'm going to press enter. So now you'll see it's like duplicated, but 0.5 inches on the inside. Finish your sketch. Extrude. Click on that. Select, it's asking me what do you want to extrude. I only want to pick this inside. And then left click, hold that arrow and push it into, so it turns red, push it into your object. I don't want it to go all the way through though. Change your distance to negative 0.3. So it only cuts in 0.3. And if you do your math on that, that leaves 0.2 thickness for the floor because the overall thickness is 0.5. There you go. So now we have our, almost looks like a tray, like a lunch tray or something. Alright, so now we're going to make a sketch on the, well, I guess you could make a sketch on the floor or on the top, depending on how you want to do this. I think it's best that we make a sketch on this top border face here, right there. I don't know. I don't think we should do it on here because I don't want people to accidentally extrude too high. So let's just make it on this top ridge right there. Alright. So now we got to put our design in here, and I selected a paw. So hopefully everybody has connected their Google Drive to their device or to their portal. Remember, that's a separate video. All you had to do was, let's see if I even remember how to do that. I think it was up here somewhere. You click open. No. What was it? No, that's not it. Now I'm just messing things up. Let's see here. It goes open. Yeah, see when I click open, I can see my Google Drive. I think what you need to do is you need to connect or add drive. That's right. When you click open, you're going to see right here it says add device or add drive. You need to click on that and you need to sign into your Google Drive. And then you'll be able to see all of that. So pause this video and click on that button and connect your Google Drive just like I showed you if you don't have that connected yet. But I already do. So I have this sketch on the top perimeter or border here ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a decal. So I'm going to go to decal. No, canvas. I'm sorry. It's been a long day here, folks. Not a decal. I'm going to insert a canvas. And you can see what it says. It's going to place an image on a face or a sketch. That's what I want to do. So canvas, and you'll see that I want to insert from my computer because that's going to be basically my Google Drive. So I'm just going to give it a second. Hopefully it'll open. A couple of things happening here. So now this window's opening. You'll see your Google Drive, which I see mine. Now I've got a lot of folders, so hopefully you got your stuff organized. when you find a picture, save it to your Google Drive, organize it into a folder. Like I said, I have a lot of folders, so I'm going to find, I have a Fusion folder somewhere in here. There it is. Open that up. I got a paw, a wildcat paw. That's what I found on the internet. That's what I'm going to use. Alright, so it says select face. So I'm going to pick the face. Right away it kind of centers itself onto the face. So before you hit OK, you can scale it and you can center it. So I can drag it to the left, to the right. I can drag it up and down. I can also grab this corner with my left click on my mouse and I can drag to scale the size. Now that's going to be really important because here's the deal. I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to hit OK. Before I start tracing this, remember the smallest tool that we have, and I'm going to draw a circle right now, right on top of this sketch, and I'm going to make that circle 0.25. Okay, so all I did, and I'm going to zoom in on that, all I did was I clicked on circle, left click, drug it out, and while that window was open I type in 0.25. Now that's how big the tool is when it's going to come in and cut all of the stuff around, because I want to raise these into islands, all these little paw prints. But this tool won't be able to cut in between, because I mean, if I just kind of put that right there and imagine that as a tool that's supposed to come in, and imagine you're a dentist and you had to kind of fit that in between two teeth and that was a tool, that would hurt, right? You wouldn't like that very much. So we need to maybe make this image a little bit bigger, or when we're tracing it, maybe we should trace it a little bit inside of where the actual image is, so that when that tool needs to come in and cut around the islands, it's got room to get in there. Okay, so this is again designing for manufacture, and that's what we're trying to do. But notice I can still make this image and scale it a little bit bigger. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and say OK, because I was in the middle of drawing a circle. I'm going to click on that image I just put in. So if you go to the canvas folder, you click that little arrow and you left click on the picture, you can right click on the picture and you can edit the canvas, and then that window is going to come back open. Now I can go back to that scale, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that paw nice and big so that I can hit OK again. And now I can zoom in a little bit closer and kind of examine and actually right click OK. Kind of look at this and say, it's going to be a little tight, but I guess I need to trace around these features and just make sure I come in a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do here, is I'm going to show you what tools I'm going to use to trace. But I'm going to leave these 1/4 inch circles just kind of hanging out here so that while I'm tracing, I have them. So let me show you how to trace. These are very irregular in shape. There's no perfect arc. So I'm going to use a spline. A spline, probably a fit point spline. So I did that under Create, Spline. This is for irregular curves. So what I'm going to do is I am going to kind of start at a point here. I'm having a hard time clicking. Let me go back to that. Did I click Fix Point? No, I don't think I did. I did. Why? Okay, it's working a little bit better. So essentially what I'm doing is it's creating a curved line that's going through all of these left click points. The more left click points you create, the smoother it's going to be. Now when you're done, so like for instance when I get to this point, I think I'm done, I'm going to hit this little checkbox, and then we have that smooth continuous arc. I really should be doing this a little closer. I'm going to zoom in and pan over a little bit. When you're done with the spline, you can always grab the endpoints. So like let's see here. Oops, actually, when I just clicked, I didn't realize this button was already pressed, so it's going to start drawing another one. So I better right-click cancel. Right-click. There we go. All right, so cancel. Okay, so what I just did was I just did a lot of clicks. So I gotta click pan and go back. There we go. Alright, so back to my right click, cancel. That's better. Okay, so if you hover over the line, you can left click and hold the end point. You see how I can drag it and move it? So that's how you can edit a spline after you've drawn it. See? Just fix that thing. Now I didn't go quite all the way to here, so I guess I need to draw another one. From here to here. I should have been zoomed in a lot closer. Look at how much better I'm able to get it. So if you want to use undo and fix that, go right ahead. Alright, so I'm going to pan over. Now this one, I don't think I'm going to use spline. I think I could be better off doing an arc. So an arc. Something like this. An arc. Arcs are start point, end point, radius. I did that kind of quick. So if I'm drawing an arc, create an arc, a 3-point arc. My first click would be where the arc starts. My second click would be where the arc ends. And then my third click, you can see, would be the radius. So like that would be my third click. Alright, I'm going to undo that because I don't want an arc there. So basically what you can see is, zoom out, got a nice little paw right there. So then you would continue this process for each of the 3 different prints. Okay. So I'm going to pause this video and finish this, and I'll come back and show you the extrusion. Okay, so I have finished tracing. Now I was able to kind of turn off my canvas, and I did that. If you finish your sketch, what you can do is you can come into the canvas and you can toggle the picture by turning the eyeball on and off. So I'm going to turn that eyeball off so I can just see my sketch, and then I'm going to double click in this history and go back into my sketch, because if I come down, I want to see if this tool is going to fit. Because if I come down and I look at this little 1/4-inch tool, right click OK, it's not going to fit here. So the nice thing is I can just grab these lines and I can just move the geometry. I'm basically making room is what I'm doing. And I might want to do that over here, maybe over here, just so that this tool can come in and have some wiggle room, as they say. Ooh, that's going to need some wiggle room. That's really cutting it close. A machine needs that extra, oops, cancel. That machine needs wiggle room. Okay, it can't be exactly the same size as what's trying to fit inside. Okay, so now I didn't take as much time as I would hope you guys take in tracing and stuff. But all right, I'm going to delete these circles. Right click on them, delete. Delete. I'm just going to select them. Select, select, hit OK. Why didn't they disappear? Right click, delete. Left click, nope. Okay, why is my circles not deleting? Right click, delete. There we go. Left click on the circle, right click. I was hitting repeat delete. It's got to be a delete. There we go. Okay. Now, let's extrude it. So finish sketch, go to my home, my little picture of my house, and then we're going to extrude this, 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 and this. Bring it forward not that much, that would be crazy. only 0.3, which is how deep the pocket is. Ooh, but hold on. My bad. I don't think we want to do that because we started our sketch on the top, so we want to go in the negative direction, 0.3. So negative 0.3, and it has to be a join. So negative 0.3, and there you go. See, it hits the floor. Make sure it says join. All right. So I just kind of orbit this. There's my paw. And again, you can get as detailed as you want. You know, you can also, add text if you wanted to, engrave like, a W in here. You can certainly, create another sketch and add a, W. Oops. But obviously this is going to have to be nice and big. Let's go 1.5. Probably bold it. You might want to even pick, because the 1/4" tool has to fit in this. If we're going to cut this in, and you're going to pocket this out, you're going to need to make sure that's nice and big. So you might want to even go 1.7. Whenever people do this project, they always forget how small that tool is when it has to go in and do that detail. So move that text around, possibly even draw a 1/4" circle next to it just to see scale. Let's zoom in. So I think, uh-oh, I didn't want to do that. Sorry guys. There we go. What was I doing? See if that tool will be able to go in and cut all that. I think it might be okay. If not, I might have to come back and fix that sketch. Looks pretty centered. Click on the little house. I'm going to extrude, and then you could theoretically cut it in by negative 0.3. So now I've got a little W that it'll chew out from the inside. However, even with something like this, you got to remember you're going to get rounded inside corners. It's kind of like my mouse shadow here. If you think about it, the tool is going to be rounded, so you're not going to get these sharp inside corners, but it'll attempt to get most of the W. Alright, hopefully this was helpful. Again, be creative with your design and do the best you can. Try to keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. I know a lot of people sometimes bite off more than they can chew, but have fun with it. All right. Thank you very much for watching.